Hello there. Once again, this is Anton from Anton Bay. Thank you for stopping by the collection room. Today I'm taking a look at some more Alpha Flights. We've been working our way through a massive pile of Alpha Flights, and we are up to 61, 2, 3, and 4. If you want to go back and watch any of the other videos, I've covered 4 issues at a time since issue 1, and we'll eventually get to the end of the series, most likely. I only say most likely because some issues were really fun to cover, whether or not I particularly cared for them or not, or it was I did a lot of complaining because some of Alpha Flight is really terrible. And as somebody who really appreciates the series, I've always appreciated the series, and I've owned a full set 1 through 130. This is the 3rd time. So I mean, I like them. They get sold, my collection moves on. I get another set. It's one I always try to hold on to, but I'm honest. Look, they're not great. Some of them are good. Some of them are terrible. Like the John Byrne stuff was great art, just incredibly slow moving stories where nothing happened. Like nothing. And then you get into really, really stupid story arcs. Just terrible. This one is all, they're being sued by the Canadian government. Which, if we're supposed to like the Canadian government, we don't, because they're generally awful. And yeah, blasting a desk at a court, that's not good, Heather. But just, I don't know, it's tricky sometimes. This is actually probably some of the better era, is a little bit the mid Alpha Flights. Purple Girl is an interesting member of the team. Has the same powers as the Purple Man. That is actually her father, where she just speaks and people turn purple and then do whatever she says. That is how she was born, actually. You have kind of the interesting part of Walter Langowski turned into he's occupying Snowbird's body, so he turns into a white Sasquatch, which is kind of okay, I guess. But these issues here, it actually turns out this is very difficult because he's not in his body and he's gone. They actually say he's dead. And so the government seizes his assets and he can't get his house, his inheritance, all that stuff is gone. It's kind of cool that we tackle weird problems like that in Alpha Flight. That's kind of a thing that it just does. Is the X-Men never have to deal with crap like this, but Alpha Flight, yes, because it's Alpha Flight, because they don't have anything better in their lives going on. And if they weren't being sued by the government, or mostly fighting each other, they don't have anything really going on in their life. And Heather proposes to Madison Jeffries, because Mac's been out of the picture for 40 issues now, 50 issues. So that is what it is. Another limited series. What is this? A joke? Alpha Waves. What do we got? Nick Fury versus Shield. Yes, folks, that is Nick Fury. He was originally white. In case you didn't know, that's been a recent development. And while we're here on this first issue from the series, let's get a quick reference to what year we are in. 1988. So issue 62, I actually remember being quite good and quite important. I love how they put the Purple Man in the Purple Rain font. There was actually a couple of Marvel comics where they homaged Purple Rain. They were big into Purple Rain. Jim Lee, is he the writer? Let's see, September of 1988. I Live, and it is the return of Zebediah Kilgrave, the Purple Man. It's a great name for a villain. And he is awful. He is awful. Just wretchedly horrible. He brings some other dead bodies to life because he just commands them to. And he comes to just harass and torment his daughter. And It is, I remember this story because it's legit really like disturbing and depressing. I think this is also where we find out that Sasquatch is being basically robbed by the government because they refuse to acknowledge that he's alive, and he can't prove it because he's in a different body. Just a whole lot of problems going on with this one. But if I remember right, that is what made this issue neat. Like, it was just neat. Goblin actually proves herself useful in this issue. We don't have to see Mannequin, I don't think, because he's the worst Alpha Flight character ever, with his complete bullshit powers. Yeah, the living dead of the Purple Man. Really, truly horrific. Against her father, she has no powers. Yeah, just how awful. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get Elizabeth Two Young Men back. Because she's been gone for 30 issues now. Speedball in his own miniseries. Or no, his own regular series. Issue 34, it's Box versus U.S. Air Force. Because he flies over and invades American airspace or something. I can't remember. There's his original Roger Box dude, and I think he becomes a villain at some point. Or he already has, I can't remember. This might be flashback stuff. Sometimes you get lost in where you're at in these plots. And it looks like Heather bought this outfit from, like, Robin. That looks like a leftover Robin outfit. And with her red hair and her big, thick, square glasses, really looks like a Dark Knight Returns Robin. Dark Knight Returns Robin. Why did they draw her shoes to match her shorts? Why are they so baggy? I don't know. There's problems with this outfit. Definitely some issues with it. Looks like he has gone just a little bit crazy. He is trying to get control of his body. I think it has to do with his twisted, dumb, like the last guy who used to run the box suit. Anyway, yeah. Like I was kind of talking about earlier, some stuff, some episodes or issues of Alpha Flight are, I mean, an absolute slog to try and get through. And they super, super suck. And some I find enjoyable. But for some reason, I like the whole series on a whole. And I'll say that, and I have to say it numerous times because I will complain about it so much. People will be like, man, why do you hate Alpha Flight so much? Why do you keep buying Alpha Flight? You hate Alpha Flight. Well, yes, I do. Sometimes. I also love Alpha Flight. And so maybe I just love to hate Alpha Flight. Last Will and Testament of Walter Langowski. To my beloved wife, Veronica Lodge. And he's trying to prove that he's not dead. It's the authenticity of who he is, the man that signed it, because he is occupying a woman's body. His wife knows it. She's taken his stuff. It's just a mess. And so he tries to get his own body back. And I think, yeah, because Aurora won't sleep with him anymore now that he's a female. So that was another issue. Because Aurora was all about crawling on him when he was a dude. So I don't blame his wife for wanting to take the stuff. We got dragons going on. We got the return of Tundra once more, which is a great villain. It's just, you know, you have these like ancient spirits that you guys keep fighting. It's just a shame that they could never come up with Like, the Master was a great villain, but they, like, built him up and then never used him. Pestilence, that one plague guy, he was a great villain, and yet then they only used him, like, a little bit, then stopped using it. And, I don't know, it just... They didn't ever write themselves right. Okay, the Nightmare was a pretty good villain. But, once again, instead of building upon the villains they had, it seemed like they would just keep going back to the same old monsters over and over again that they had to fight, and just kind of on the lame side. The stuff with Purple Man was fantastic. Definitely they should have gone that way more often. So this was a pretty good section. There is a bunch of sections of Alpha Flight that I'm not kidding. They're not good. They're so terrible. But either way, you either love the series or you hate it, and sometimes with Alpha Flight you can do both. Anyway, that's my story. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.